Hello, and welcome back to myself playing Disco Elysium. We are on our way back to the Union to talk to Mr. Evrart and tell him we've done the favour he wanted. And perhaps find out some more information about that person. Up here, in here. Around here. Up here and
Mr. Dubois, every worker?
he leans towards you, waiting for you to complete his sentence. So many. So, a member of the board is a living god, is an organ in the great state, organism of war, also just like me, for himself.
That's right, Mr. Dubois. I see the socialist democratic fervour now burns in your heart, too. How can I help you today?
I opened the door. Will you just ask me? Can we discuss the murder
I'm
now?
very glad to hear that, Harry. One question. You didn't actually happen to stumble in and see what's inside the apartment, did you?
He's trying to figure out if you're lying.
I think inside Weasel had a flag of the old Russell on his wall.
Exactly the kind of fascist memorabilia I was expecting. Weasel probably prays to it every night for the downfall of the Union.
He was testing you, and you succeeded.
Now let's get down to brass tacks. It's time for men like me and you to figure out who's killed who and why. Real police work is gonna start happening now. I promise you, Harry, this is gonna be good.
There was a collection of colonial mugs there, and I found a similar mug and trash with the hangman's clothes.
Racist mugs in the trash and in the apartment? You guys are just light years ahead of me. I have so much confidence in the ability of your organization. I'm relieved you're doing this and leaving me to do what I do best, helping people, with the power of politics.
Yes. Do you think this weasel is somehow connected to the murder?
Oh, no. I don't cross paths like that. All I want is for you to succeed in your investigation. I would never complicate things for you.
Oddly, it seems to be true.
But his Weasel might have cleaned up after the killers.
Believe me, Harry, he's a nobody. Just your basement variety nobody. Can't imagine him being connected to a high-caliber case like this. But he does live nearby. Maybe it's a pedantic weasel. Fascists are known to be neat freaks. I feel like a real detective right now, Harry. Am I getting this right?
He imitates passion, someone with emotional baton. Great technique. You're like a great sergeant.
Really? I'm not so sure about it.
Oh, you're too kind, Harry. Way too kind. I know I'm not a real police officer. You are.
I hear about a connection between the lynching and strike. I'd like to hear what you know about
By
it.
now, I'm sure you've figured out who the dead man was working for. The bad guys. Wild Pines. Sent to scare us. Another violent measure of the top hats against us flatcaps.
I'm listening.
Harry, this strike is the culmination of many mistakes made by the Wild Pines group. They tried to shut the strike down by sending in armed mercenaries.
You mean our victim?
A security contractor? Can you imagine that? Workers standing in peaceful protest, united in the spirit of fellowship, and they send hired killers to mow us down with machine gun fire?
He performs a motion as if spraying bullets from a machine gun.
I'm talking beasts. Hardened killers from proxy wars in Yisut, Semenine, Saramaritsa, you name it, they've done it. Raping, killing, burning villages, killing little children for the Senorita Pineapple Company, Harry. Everything they did there, they brought over here. They want to turn Revachol into a third world slum. Honestly, the only thing they didn't do is kill the village elephant.
Hold on, you have a village elephant?
No, Harry, the elephant is metaphorical and so is the village, but the mercs and their brutality are very real.
Go on.
Now, I haven't personally witnessed the brutalities out there. I have the luxury of staying in my container, you see. If I need to go somewhere, they just move my container.
Wait, they moved the container?
Yes, I'm an old man, Harry. My legs aren't what they used to be. They lift my office with that big crane. It's actually very fun. You should try it. But enough about me and my fun container. The killers the company hired, I think there were 3 of them, all hardened commando types. One of them got downright suicidal, getting drunk, violent, a little rapey. Even their own negotiator couldn't control him. That's your boy, the one who likes hanging out and trees.
By negotiator, you mean Joyce?
Harry, what you need to realize is, we dock workers are not pushovers. We got grit, Harry. This whole neighborhood does. Push us hard enough and we push back. And when we do, we push to kill.
Wait, the whole neighborhood is on it?
Potentially, Harry, potentially. We got arm wrestling champions, rowing club people, ex-coal miners, tough guys, all ready to spring into action for their home base.
Who exactly did the pushing?
There's a militant wing inside the Union. A group of people whose duties don't involve manual labor, but peacekeeping in the neighborhood, making sure everything runs smoothly.
That sounds a bit like organized crime.
They're like you guys. Idealistic people who want to make sure bad things don't happen. And if they already have, well, punishment must follow.
Again, that sounds like organized crime.
So these idealists killed our victim?
One day Titus Hardy, leader of this peacekeeping faction, comes up to me and says, "Boss, Socialist Democratic fervor drove us to take it upon ourselves to kill this beast that was burdening the land." He probably worded it differently, but that was the idea. Sure sounded to me like they killed him. I gave them 2 weeks paid leave and told them to lay low to avoid retaliation.
Aren't you worried we might arrest them for this?
Oh, I'm not at all worried about that. These are not the kind of men who get arrested. They're Martinez boys, tough and gritty. I'd like to see the man who takes them in. Besides, I sent my lawyer girl to look after them.
He places a lot of faith in that lawyer girl. Perhaps this is a tactical error. Anyway.
There was a bullet in the hangman's head.
So they shot him.
He sounds pleasantly
He was
surprised.
shot in the head before he was hanged.
How odd. I don't know what to say, Lieutenant. They told me they hanged him. A hanged man is what I saw when I took a look into that yard.
It's impossible to say if he's telling the truth, sire.
What I do know is, the case is in safe hands. If anyone can get to the bottom of this shot and hanged man, it's my 2 little policemen. Godspeed, policeman.
How do you know the mercenaries were hired by the shipping company?
How do I know? Let me tell you about these people. That's their MO. It's what they do.
He slams his fist on the desk.
Last winter, some poor workers in Terminal E went on a little strike. The company sent in Sediment, a security contractor. The strike was over the workers' right to wear protective footwear, Harry. These guys turn up and start beating people. Tell you what, Harry, I wouldn't be surprised if we got the same mercenary company after a little rebranding. And I'm sure as hell not surprised to see an army of scabs under my gates.
So you believe the scabs were organized by the security contractor?
You said it. Hell, one of those guys looks big enough to take down that proverbial elephant. Boys like that don't just happen to show up during strikes.
That does sound quite unlikely, yes. The big guy leading the scabs at the gate is colossal.
You mentioned the lawyer girl.
Oh, Liz is a bright one. I paid for that law degree myself, thinking it'll probably turn her all fancy. But hell, Harry, she came back a firebrand socialist. Sometimes she scares me with her zeal.
Wait, the girl by the whirling, who was keeping an eye on you. Is he talking about her?
Did you send her as a spy disguised as a gardener?
I did that, didn't I? She thinks of herself as a guerrilla fighter. These middle-class kids and the books they read are crazy, Harry. I think she would rather be an insurgent than a lawyer. I hope it's a phase.
Tell me about Titus Hardy and his crew.
Oh, they are simply fine young men, all 7 of them. Exemplary union members, always working to advance their position in the local socialist democratic movement. Core members. Old Theo used to run them, but things really kicked into gear when Titus took the reins and named the group after himself. Gotta love his initiative.
Interesting. Who's second in command?
They're almost all of them great guys, born leaders. Whatever happened, I'm sure they only had the best interests of Martinez and Revachol in mind. Work with them. Hell, interview them. But don't fight them. They really are just like you. Men who like beer, women, and some order on the streets.
He's betting on them being useless to you.
Everett, I met the Tavis. Can you ask them to cooperate with me?
But of course! It's the least I can do for my good friend Harry. I'll do it right after we've concluded this talk.
You can now go and tell Titus about this. See what he has to say.
Also, Harry, here's 5 real.
Take it.
The lieutenant watches you pocket the banknote. He looks a little puzzled.
Good boy. A real team player. Now, do you have any more questions?
Good talk. Let's conclude for now.
Was it a good talk? I'm not sure we made much headway here. I was hoping we'd bust the case wide open. Heck, I even wanted to tell you what I really want to achieve with the strike. I don't know what happened, Harry. I wanted you to feel like Mr. Martinez. And of course, I also wanted you to find your gun. But it's like I can't completely trust you. Yet.
Yet?
Yes, Harry. It's like I can't fully trust you if you're not a man of the left. I want to, but I just can't.
A man of the left. So you have to be a social democrat. He's been hurt too much in the past by men who aren't social democrats.
So many choices here. This is no corruption scene, isn't it? I'm neither left nor right. I do what my heart tells me to do.
What does your heart tell you about your lost gun, Harry? Does it tell you to forget about it? Or do you think it wants to be found? I think it's lonely and cold. I think it wants to be found, and I have a proposal for you.
And what would this entail?
Once again, I require nothing unethical or illegal of you. You just need to get 2 little signatures on this piece of paper, and then mail it to my accountant in La Delta.
Kim, what do you think of this?
It depends. I don't think what we just got from Mr. Clare was very useful.
He studies Evrart.
But he thinks it's your call.
As I said, it weighs on me heavily. But once we get really talking, well, I'm going to hand you the keys to Martinez, and maybe even help you figure out who's behind this killing.
He's saying as little as possible, as vaguely as he can, deliberately omitting things.
What are the signatures for?
I'm glad you asked, Harry. The Union is going to build a modern youth centre in Martinez. It will be righteous. We're going to get those teenagers off drugs and on roller skates. There's a nameless little street on the coast with some old houses around it. Most people have already signed. I just need 2 more signatures to get this mission off the ground, Harry.
Where is this place exactly?
On the coast, Harry, across the canal. There's a cul-de-sac there, a little village they're calling it. A gloomy place. You'll find it. I trust your detective skills, Harry.
What will happen to the current
They
occupants?
are just going to have to deal with the construction noise for 6 months, and then they'll be living like kings. Right next to a fancy new youth centre, designed by the best architects from Stella Marie.
Is he absolutely sure the tenants won't be thrown out in the street?
Are you 100% sure no one's going to end up homeless?
Am I? Harry, these people, Martin Hayes is the most important thing in my life. I would never let anything bad happen to them. We're going to build a youth centre there. The value of their properties goes up and kids have a place to play in. I'm looking out for these people, not pulling the rug from under them, Harry. I'm looking out for all of Martin Hayes, not just the harbour.
Fine, if I happen to be there, I can ask
You
them.
bring joy to my heart, Harry. Such a pleasure to be working with you. Here,
He hands you an open white
you
envelope.
need to get signatures from Isabel Sadie and Lillian Carter. The cul-de-sac is right past the pawn shop and across the canal. I heard there was some trouble with the waterlock, but it should be fixed now. Once you have the signatures, mail this to 13022 La Rocca in the Delta. Then we can talk about your gun.
He runs his fingers through his thin hair. Evrart, I'm going to leave now. We might talk again later.
See you soon, Debardeur. Just kidding, but not too much.
The big man raises his hand in farewell. What takes on this? We got 4, 5. That might be it. There we go, we got that working on. Okay, let's
You take the legal documents out of the envelope. A 12 to 40 month construction period and the zoning plan in the addendum.
Look at the zoning plan.
The youth centre cuts into the ocean like the bow of some great modern ship. Apparently, it's going to cover most, if not all, of the street and the square between the existing houses. It's 3 stories tall. It's going to be awfully close to the already existing buildings, almost wall to wall, practically integrating them into the youth centre. This is either an ominous or cool architectural choice. Hard to say. My money is on cool. Looks like a cubic pyrite.
Kim, what do you think of this?
I'm no property lawyer, but it looks fine. I like the print size. They're not selling or leasing anything. It's not the perfect solution, but...
He shrugs.
How else are you going to build something? It's always inconvenient to build things, and citizens inevitably have disagreements over such construction projects. But there's no other way.
Let's try and find a loophole in the deal.
There is no loophole. The simple truth is the current residents are going to lose their street access, and for the next 12 to 40 months, their lives will be dominated by constant construction noise right next door.
Wait, what are the ramifications of this?
Once the construction starts, it'll probably take a few months, a year maybe, for even the most stubborn occupants to get tired of living like this. After that, they'll sell their property for cheap and move out.
Look, Kim, pointing to the photograph, these people are going to have to move away. Can we do something about this?
I should have seen it.
The lieutenant frowns as he reads over the document again.
Evrart probably has eyes on us, but we could try to get other people to sign this instead of those listed. Or you could forge their signatures yourself. By the time he finds out, we'll already be gone. However, we'll need access to the coast before we do anything. Evrart won't believe you got villager signatures if you can't even get to the village. You can try a forgery as soon as we can cross the waterlock.
Put the documents back in the envelope. Good man. Do. Such a long walk out. Look away. Around there, up there, down here. Around here, in there. Through here. Down here.
A Stars Riker, one of the finest Zhimsk-made motor carriages ever. An oldie, but a goldie.
We've done this. That's cool, but a policeman thing to do.
A lorry stuck in the traffic jam. This big, heavy Grad-made machine is well kept for such an old machine.
Look in the
The
window.
windows are clear. They've been recently washed. You can see a lorryman's cabin with personal belongings, stickers, insignia.
What kind of stickers and insignia?
The driver has adorned his space with a substantial collection of peculiar paraphernalia. Proclamations about honor, strength, and purity are glued to various panels. A large metal pendant hangs from the rear view mirror. The pendant features a sun crowned with wavy rays. It is the seal of Royalist era Revachol.
What about the back
The
seat?
back end of the cabin has a small perch to sleep, large ashtrays. There are several suns and wheels sewn into the curtains. A book with ragged edges catches your notice. The front cover features a large, muscular man. The title reads, Man from Eandal in the Lost City of the Pygmies.
Racist nationalist paraphernalia. Not unusual in this part of town. This is our guy.
This ain't nods towards a racist lorry driver. You think this lorry belongs to a tough
Likely,
guy?
yes. This guy's proud of who he is. Drapes it all over his machine.
There he is, in front of Rita, smoking nervously, hoping it's over.
There's so much more to do with this guy.
Looking for something, Grunt? Come to tell me to fuck off again?
So it's going down to the coast to see if the bridge had been repaired. It's looking promising.
A rusting control. You grab the handle and pull the lever up. As soon as the metal connects against the contact pins, you hear a loud clunk. The waterlock starts moving.
All right, we can go to the coast now. Expect rugged terrain and drunks. And if you wanted to forge that document for Evrart, now you can.
Okay, let's cross over Then open my bag. Where are we on actual? We must be down there by the most of these waterfront fishermen's shacks. Yeah, that's what it looks like. Most of these waterfronts. Oh, got to show by map. Okay.
You take the legal documents out of the envelope. A 12 to 40 month construction period and the zoning plan in the addendum.
Okay, I want to be inside a building of one of these people, I think. Break a box radio, and maybe something inside it. Take as a concrete defense. Children play with them now. There's the car. That jumped over. That caused all that damage. What's the purple? Travel beyond the gate, more abandoned motor lorries. A sign says no entry. Someone scribbled an inverted star on it. Down we go. Someone's breaking down the fence and the barbed wire. Glory, says the graffito, to the ghosts of us. Yep, we'll sneak them. Someone left behind a music collection beneath the tarpaulin. Okay. Birches in a birch tree, barely audible cues from above. The swing's missing, no one's been here for a long time.
There's no way to listen to the tape without a pawn shop. A pawn shop would have a tape player. Rust peels off the bent iron posts of the swing. The wind whistles through the skeleton of the small house behind you. There's desolation everywhere.
What happened here?
In this yard?
The lieutenant looks at the small building. A flock of grey swallows take off in the distance.
He's assessing the situation. How long ago was it abandoned?
Someone thought they could have a summer house in a bloc obscur for cheap. It didn't work out. They abandoned it about a decade ago.
So, wait, what's a block obscure?
A black bloc. A part of the city left unrenovated after the war. Or one that has fallen to gang violence. Or has become inhospitable in some other way.
On aerial photos, block obscures look like dark squares, hence their name.
So this part of the coast is a block obscure.
Practically, it's not an official term in any way, but look around. No sewage, broken power lines, crime, drunks. Life is tough in the blocks. It's no place to build a summer house.
At least they left some old music behind. Tap on the tape you picked up.
Yes, and you picked it up as part of the jam rock shuffle.
He gives you a weary smile.
It's not meant as nagging, just an observation.
We should move. I don't think we will solve the murder with forays into the urban hinterland, at least in this phase of the investigation.
There's no way out of here. Well, I know I'm going to come across a car wreck in a second, So I'm going to stop this recording and start it afterwards, have a little break. And we'll investigate the car. So as usual, if you've watched this, thank you very much, and I'll catch you guys again later. Bye.